I'm going to start this video off a little bit differently because on November 6th, our friend Brady had his beautiful 392 stolen. So in memoriam, I'd like to take a moment to remember all the fun times we've had with Dory. We met back in December of 21, when a bunch of folks from the JL Wrangler Forum went down to Hidden Falls. It was inevitable that Brady and I would hit it off because we had the two most awesome engines. Then, 6 months later, families in tow, because we aren't weirdos, we went to Hot Springs, Arkansas to wheel at Hot Springs Off-Road Park with his brother. You may recall in that video, I was giving him a little grief for hot rodding his V8. I'll be honest though, what else are you supposed to do with a V8 besides spin the tires and fill her up? 8 months after that, his brother came out to Texas, and we wheeled at Hidden Falls one day and Bridgeport the next. He's taken it out a few times without me, but I'm sure it wasn't much fun. We're all kind of thinking it's going to live in another country with a new dad.
You're not my real dad.
But of course, if you do see it roaming the streets, do us a solid and call the popo. Welcome folks, this is Brad
and Ricky.
We are two Texas Jeepers broadcasting to you from North Texas. Grab a drink and follow along as we go on our next adventure. We're back at Northwest OHV in Bridgeport, Texas because 1, it's the closest thing to us, and 2, Brady has been doing a lot of work on his TJ, including welding on a Savvy mid-arm kit. So naturally, he needed to take it out and properly stress test his welds. We started the day with a drop-in from the parking lot, then went over to the rock ledge, just like the last time we were here with Jason. Speaking of, he's got a side hustle now, making cool designs for shirts and stuff.
Life is better in 4-low.
He didn't sponsor this or even ask me to say anything, but I like his work and the shirts we ordered and paid for are nice, so I figured I'd give him a shout out. I'll throw in a link down below. I'm hoping if we buy enough shirts, he can get himself a whole Jeep one day. Brady started to climb while I was setting up the camera, and Ricky hopped in the driver's seat of mine. She claims she was just pulling up closer because I had the keys in my pocket, but we all know she just likes to rock bounce with my Jeep.
Hey, keep coming.
Nope.
Alright, back up again.
Oh, why do I always get this?
Okay, give it another go. Try not to get too much wheel spin, but also don't stop, okay?
Okay, here we go.
Whoa there, Ricky Bobby, calm yourself. I recorded our track in Gaia so I could tell you where we went next. It appears we did a Pescetti maneuver to get to this hill northwest of where the pavilion is with the overlook. Ricky Bobby was kind enough to get out and record the action this time. Seeing his steering components here reminded me. He said his TJ with the PSC steering wanders less on the highway than his JL did. So I might have to put that on my wish list. The other day I was rereading an old thread on the forum about the off-road plus button, how it changes the shift points and throttle response and other stuff. I don't usually use it, but this time I did so I could really kind of pay attention to how it acted. Basically, 4 high, it feels like it's always in 1 gear lower than it should be, with the RPMs higher than I like. Keep in mind this is a diesel, so I rarely ever go above 2500 RPM. The throttle's also really twitchy, so it'll rev up fast. I guess this is what you want in soft mud and sand. Not sure, don't really spend much time there. I remember reading in 4 low, it makes you start in first gear instead of second. I didn't notice that. What I did notice is the throttle is really slow to react. Trying to bump a ledge almost always meant I had to 2-foot the pedals, holding the brake while I let the engine RPM go up. Now that I think about it, that was probably making the first hill climb a little harder for Ricky, so I'm sorry I picked on you. At the beginning of the day, I told Brady I wanted to redeem myself on Iwo Jeepa. That was the hill we did when Michael was visiting, and I had to winch around one of the rocks. So after the first couple of warm-up ledges, He took us over to the northwest corner of the park. That's where it was. There's 3 hill climbs in that area. We went down the easiest one here to avoid some of the mud. While we waited for somebody else to make it down, I took the opportunity to measure. You can see I'm using the highly accurate knee reference method. This is one of the techniques used by the ancient pyramid builders, and nearly as useful as the pull my finger trick. The last time we were here, Brady said we should put our driver's tires up on the rock and keep the passenger side down in the middle. So I tried the passenger side up instead. Of course it didn't work, but that's not the point. This time he starts off going high on passenger side, then transitions halfway through to driver's side up like he got rear steering. He does it all slick too, like he meant to do it. I swear, some guys have all the luck. I mean, except when their Jeep gets stolen. It's pretty rough just getting up to that section. I mean, you can see how big some of these rocks are. The last time we went up, it didn't really matter what direction I steered. The tires would just go to the nearest low spot. This time though, I feel like I have a lot more control of where we're going. Well, my attempt was kind of ugly since it took me a few tries. It just didn't want to drag itself over the rocks, and you can really hear the two-pedaling here. Listen to how long it took the engine RPMs to go up. Calling that a win, we headed back to the east and then south through the flats to a short trail that he had originally pointed out a few trips back. He said he'd watched a Toyota 4Runner go up, so, you know, I figured if a Toyota could do it, we probably could too. I walked up to the top to watch him try, and it just completely rejected him. He was sliding everywhere. It was a mess. Then he says, well, the 4Runner had a really nice lift in 38. The devil's in the details, isn't it? So here we are trying it again. He missed the line he was trying for, and he's having a little trouble getting his rear up. I was watching this and thinking this is going to end with me winching over it. It's not as slick as it was the first day. The rocks are dry, but the soil is still damp, so it sticks to the tires and acts like little ball bearings. As I'm coming up, I'm wondering what I'll be able to anchor my winch line to. Just past that ledge where he had trouble is a 90-degree turn, then a berm, and then one of the main park roads. I'm thinking he might have to go up to the main road, sort of block it, so I can hook to his receiver. And then it turned out to be a non-event. Honestly, it was kind of refreshing because I hate feeling like the guy that has to be helped over every obstacle. In hindsight, I think this was an obstacle that the longer wheelbase helped, but I also think his tires weren't doing him any favors. Because we needed one last chance to bang our frame rails, we went across the road and up an even shorter climb. Looking down at the ledge, he said he knew the secret sauce. Just put your driver's tire in this notch and everything will be hunky-dory. I'm sorry, I did not mean that one. One down, one to go. Well, look at that. Brady's lines work 100% of the time sometimes. From there, it was back to 4 high for the drive to the staging area so we could air up and head home. Every time we do this, I'm impressed how well we can do these trails, then hit the express lane home going 75. Maybe we'll get a chance to visit some other places soon. We've been eyeballing Maris for a while now, and some plans are shaping up that will take us out of Texas. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and take care.